Hello and welcome to Club Deck Corner here on Club at 22 the Rangers podcast. A slight revamp of our Then, Now and the Next Game show, but we are still here to ultimately preview the next game and discuss Rangers news. I am your host Scott Carney, and joining me as always even is Ali Pearson.
How we doing, lads? Another quiet start to the week.
Very quiet week. And Scott Gemmell.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, Scottish football never fails to excite you, does it?
Well, it's been some week, to be honest. Before we jump into the football, lads, what he's been doing? The same thing, isn't it?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah,
will
just
see, be
copy
honest.
and paste last week.
Yeah, copy and paste. Except for I have started going walking, trying to get my fat arse into gear a wee bit. My missus has started this 10,000 steps a day thing for like 30 days. I'm not doing that much, man, and there's no way I can get to that. I've done 3 days, and I've done about 11 mile, and my legs and my feet are in agony, like absolute agony. But it's got to be done. But I am kind of trying to get myself fit, man, trying to get myself out of the house more. It's becoming too easy just to sit about doing nothing.
You need those stairs back up to the club deck, don't you? Oh, you get the lift.
I get the lift. Well, my dad's got a lift past mine, so I get the lift up. My dad, so I don't even use the stairs. But I just try to get myself going. But apart from that, I mean, it's just the same stuff, really, isn't it? And obviously, we are kept entertained by the gift that keeps on giving from the other side of the city, and also our team. So we'll just jump straight into it. So just before we get into the next game and kind of previewing the Antwerp game, it's got a slightly new section of the podcast, and each week each one of us will bring something to the table to discuss regarding Rangers news. So Scotia, do you want to start us off for this one?
Yeah, I can do. Something that piqued my interest when it came through in email on Monday was that Rangers will be hosting a virtual watch-along the upcoming Antwerp game tomorrow night with Clive Tildesley and our own Jermaine Defoe. Looks quite decent. This it's something that we need to kind of get done because the fact we're not at the games with each other. I think we've done a Zoom call, Skype call during the Celtic game, but apart from that, we've not really done anything. So it'd be quite good to get this going, see how it goes. So basically, what it is, there's 2 options that we've got. There's a light package, which is $3.99, and there's a full package, which is $5.99. Now, with the full package, what you get is you get access to the virtual watch party, you get a digital match day programme, you get entry into a prize draw to win a signed Rangers top, and you get 2 MyJers points. For the light package, you only get 1 MyJers point, and you don't get the prize draw or match day programme, but you get put into this virtual watch party. Now, what this watch party is, it's on an app called Hot Mic, and I've not used it. I've yet to download it. I'm going to get onto that later tonight. But the way I believe it works is that this syncs up with what the audio that you're listening to from the game. So there shouldn't be any issues with them telling you have scored when you're still a minute or 2 behind.
Can I ask something on that, Scotia? Since you've obviously looked into this. Obviously, yeah. I've got it in BT Sports through my Sky, so it's live as can be. A lot of guys watch BT through the app or whatever, and you're lagging a minute behind. So, what does it go with the Sky Live, or how does that work then?
See, well, what I'm led to believe, as I say, I've not used it, so I don't know for sure. But what I'm led to believe is that it syncs up with the audio that you're listening to. So if you've got noise coming out of your screen, it should sync up. That's what I'm led to believe what happens. I don't know if that'll be the case. We'll see. I'm going to buy it tonight, as I said, and have a wee look at it. But it seems like quite a good idea. Do you guys? Do you not think?
It's money.
It's money. Carry on, Ali. Go first.
No, it's money, because if you think about it, Rangers don't have the revenue of us paying. How much would a ticket of that game at iBook's been? About, I don't know, 40 quid, maybe slightly more. I don't know what it was last year. So you've got 50,000 fans not paying that. So it's mainly revenue. I mean, the MyJers thing in terms of the points, I mean, 2 points isn't really going to get you up the tiers, is it? They really need to look at MyJers, but that's for another day, to be honest. That's when we're all back to normal. But I guess that's a good idea. It's innovative. It brings a wee bit more money into the club. I think Greg Marshall, I heard him he was on Heart and Hands the other night, and they'd only sold 1,000 at that point, but he did say they were drumming up a bit more interest. So, yeah, I think it'll float some people's boats. Other people, I don't think will be that interested, to be honest, but it's a moneymaker. It's a positive.
Yeah, I can totally get the concept behind it. I totally understand what the club are trying to do. I understand the lack of revenue due to European matches. However, there is also the lack of outgoings from the club for putting a game like this on as well. So yeah, I suppose they've got to weigh it up in that sense. And any extra money the club can make is a good thing. I've signed up for my Gers. I'm part of my Gers. My Gers points, it doesn't float my boat. It's not really why I done it, to be honest. I done it because it was a chance to put a wee bit extra more into the club, and I buy my season tickets. I buy my Rangers top whenever I can. Obviously now we can, knowing that it's going directly to the club and whatever. And I bought my Gers just because I thought, well, it's something good to be part of. And but I mean, in terms of my Gers points, I probably won't do it. As I say, because I watch BT Sports through an app through my Xbox. So I probably won't do it. I can understand why they're doing it. If it was a direct sitting one-to-one having a conversation with Jermaine Defoe, it'd be amazing, and I would obviously pay for that. But you can't have 2,000 people all asking Jermaine Defoe questions. I'm a wee bit dubious about it. I don't know how it's going to work. The kind of My Gers system that they seem to be using, it's got potential. I think it definitely does have potential, but not everybody can afford to pay an extra £4, £5 on top of what they're already paying to sit and watch BT Sport. So I'm a wee bit 50-50 with it, but I can totally understand what the club are trying to do. So, Scotia, you thinking about buying it?
Yeah, I think I'm going to buy it just to see how it goes, see what it's like. I mean, there's a chat function with it, similar to, like, you see some of the podcasts that are out that have like the live chat function that goes in the YouTube comments and whatnot. They've got something similar to that. I believe I probably won't be using that. I'm primarily just doing it to listen to the insights from Tildesley and Jermaine Defoe.
Yeah.
And then obviously as well, you're hoping that some of the comments will maybe pick some stuff up, because it'll save me going on Twitter during the game to kind of see what folk are saying that way. So I think I'm going to give it a try. Yeah, I mean, a couple of points around the My Gers points that you raised. I mean, the My Gers points isn't a huge concern for the three of us. You know, we don't go to any away games as such. I think the only time the My Gers points are going to be an issue for us is when it comes to getting cup final tickets. And even then, at the moment or previously, you were still kind of in a bit of lottery either way, whether you got it or not. So that's the only reason. So I know there's about maybe a wee bit of dissent from some people that, you know, it's something you have to pay for to get these points, and some people that would want to go to the away games and utilise the My Gers points more won't get the chance to do so. But I think I like Ali, I heard Greg Marshall speak about it, and I think the My Gers things, it's something that's going to continually evolve and get better. This season has been the worst season that it could have got introduced.
Yeah, that is the worst season they could have imagined to launch something like this, is during a pandemic where none of us can go anywhere or do anything. So yeah, but yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, there's a bit of an uptake for it. As I say, it's revenue for the club, and so it's got to be a positive thing. Scosh?
One other thing I would say about it is it's something that can also continue once we're back to normality. You know, hopefully for next season, everyone's back in the stadium and whatnot. But for people that are maybe, you know, living abroad, that they don't have a local Rangers supporter group, or they don't have local friends that they can get together with, this is maybe something further that they could utilise to kind of get a bit more out the match day experience than they do just sitting by themselves, you know, somewhere far away, somewhere hot, and kind of get a wee bit more involved.
Yeah, it's a good point, mate. It's very good this way. Hopefully there's a wee bit of an uptake about it. As I say, it involves downloading an app, I think, as well. So there's full instructions, I'd imagine, on the website. Scotia, is that right?
Yeah, there is. I think one thing I should have said, there was important notes that you need to use the same email address, because you need to buy the tickets through Eventbrite, and then you need to download the app as well. Although I think you can download the app and then buy the tickets. But yeah, just make sure you use the same email address, your same Rangers number. Otherwise, you'll run into issues, I would imagine.
Yeah, probably. This whole email address thing with the club already caused a bit of drama, so we don't need any more of it. So, Ali, do you want to go next, mate?
Yeah, I mean, Scotia's one, to be fair, was probably one of the only real big news. But the one I was going to go with was which broke about half an hour ago. There was But the 5 players we've obviously discussed in detail in previous shows.
The COVID 5.
The COVID 5, we'll call them, rather than going through all their names, have come out in front of Rangers TV today and done their apology. I've only seen the Nathan Patterson one so far. He looked like he was about to cry, to be honest. He was basically saying how sorry he was. He was sorry to the fans, sorry to his family, how he grew up a Rangers fan. He knows it's a privilege to play for the club, etc. And basically, he wants a second chance from us, and he wants to show us on the park what it means for him to play for Rangers. And yeah, so it was him. It was Bassey was there as well. Apparently, he was quite upset as well. He apologised to his family as well, again to the fans. Zungu too apologised. Kind of said basically because he's 28, he obviously should show an example at that age. And like we all said, to be honest, I think he kind of hinted as if he's not going to be there next season. I think we know he's not going to be there next season from Gerrard's comments. So yeah, that was one that kind of broke half an hour ago there. So I wondered when we would hear from them. They're obviously allowed back to training now with the guys. I'd imagine they were shiting themselves, to be polite, coming into training today. Several figures about Al McGregor was standing there ready for them, and several other ones. So
yes,
yeah, I mean, I don't know what your thoughts are on it now the dust is settled. I mean, me and you, Carney, both said we would sack them pretty much. I know, Scotia, you were a bit more compassionate. You would maybe let them stay. So what's your feelings now the dust is settled and now you've heard, or from what they've said, has your opinion changed on it?
From what I've seen and from what I've seen of the apologies, I'm what else are they going to come out and say, really? Yeah. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, at the end of the day, Rangers are their employers. In terms of Zungu, Gerrard pretty much confirmed that it's affected what they were going to do to sign him. From what I've heard as well, it's like $2.5 million or something to sign him. If we need to sign him, he's not shown me that we deserve to put that kind of money out to keep him at the club. Patterson and Bassey, as I say, it's like the same thing with Jones and Edmondson, because slightly anyway, because I think Edmondson's got far more potential than Jones has, so I wasn't really bothered about Jones, and I still feel the same now. Like, Edmondson's probably got the biggest chance out of they two to come back to the club. I think if Jones comes back, it'll be only to gather his stuff and leave. Patterson is so promising, man, and it's so hard not to be double standards. I'm not as raging as I was about it, obviously. Especially the way Patterson's apologising, you can't help but feel kind of sorry for him. He is silly. He's made a daft mistake in terms of that. But if there was one of them players that I would be willing to keep, it would be Patterson. He is only 18 years old, and Bassey's only 20 as well. They're wee boys. Do you know what I mean? I mean, when I think about it, he's 19. I'm 32, man. Like nearly, so I'm nearly 33, and it's like, guy's still got such a long time ahead of him, and he's got a lot of potential. And I don't know, it's again another one where it's like my Jers one as well. I'm sitting 50-50 with it. I honestly believe that Patterson will get his chance. I think Bassey and everybody else might get put out on their kind of loan, if you like. Not Zungu will go. I don't think we'll see him play for Rangers again. But yeah, I think Patterson's probably in with a shout. How I feel about it, I'm still very upset about it. I'm still disappointed in it. I'm not as angry as I was about it. I've definitely calmed down in that sense, but I would probably be looking at giving Bassey the benefit of the doubt. And he's a Rangers boy. He's grew up Rangers boy, so I'd be giving him a second chance, I think. But the rest of them were on a shaky peg, I would say.
Well, I mean, I would say just for the jump to Scotia, I would say, I mean, Scotia mentioned it last night. Mabudi, his contract's up the end of the season, so he'll be gone. Zungu will be gone. The boy Kinnear, we've not seen him at all. So you're really going on Kinnear, Bassey, and Patterson. So Scotia, dust settled. You still there for second chances?
Well, the apology was the least that I expected. Yeah, I've not had a chance to see the videos. So I'll catch up with them later tonight. But it was the least we deserved. Yeah, in terms, I think they probably do get a wee bit of a second chance. I think. I mean, ultimately there's 7 of them. As you say, Zungu, no, that's not going to happen. The fact that he's 28, the fact that it's going to cost us so much money. It's not as if he's not an asset to us in terms of getting any money in from him at the moment. So yeah, I don't think something will happen the way Gerrard's been speaking. I don't think it'll happen. Boody's obviously was out of contract, so you'd imagine he'll be away down south. You'd imagine someone down in England will pick him up because his wee brother's away down to Man City, isn't it? His wee brother went to. Yeah, so I think a club down there will pick him up because he's got good potential, I think, in Booty. The other four, Jones, I said before, I think the Celtic thing, the tackle again in the Celtic game, pissed me off, and then the COVID thing pissed me off further. And he's that bit older, so you expect more. The other three, I think they'll stay, and I think part of that's due to circumstance with where they play. Jones, we've got enough players up in his position at the moment, really, that it's not a huge miss. Whereas particularly Bassey and particularly Patterson, we might have to play them at some point this season because of the situation that we're in with injuries and whatnot, and the cover at that position. So yeah, I would be tempted to give three of them a chance. Jones, I'm more leaning to no chance, but I wouldn't be overly upset if he was given another chance and he knuckled down. But there's only so many times you can do that.
I don't think they will play this season. I think they'll be hammered with a ban soon. I mean, Edmondson and Jones get 7 matches. There's 8 matches left, so I don't think we will see them. Me personally, I seen George Edmondson scored for Derby last night. He started a couple of games for them now. I've seen Jones is coming off the bench for Sunderland. Personally, those two we won't see again, I don't think. I think they'll be gone. The only ones you're talking about in terms of Bassey and Patterson potential, yeah, if it was me, I would still get rid of them, to be honest. I think they potentially really cost us this season if they'd come back from what they were doing. I know they come out and apologise, which you would expect them to do. The only thing I could possibly see is if we bump them out on loan for a year somewhere and says, right, you go out and prove yourself somewhere else for a year and potentially maybe come back, and we might have to look at cover for someone else to come in these areas. But for me, no, I'm sorry. I agree in second chances, but the second chance was gone when, I think you mentioned it, Carney, when Edmondson and Jones did what they did. So for me, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's too late. Find another club.
See, when you say that, Ali, does that then mean that you're giving Edmondson a chance?
No, I said he would go. Him and Jones will go. I wouldn't give any of them a chance. Sorry, gone.
Look, I can totally get that, mate. 100%. I can get why. I do think there'll be a massive split in this in terms of the fans. I don't want to speak on behalf of every Rangers fan, but in terms of me, I mean, I'm sitting pretty much on the fence with Patterson. The rest of them, I'm not really bothered about them, to be honest. I don't think they're a great loss, and you are right. The fact that they nearly cost us massively this season, and they put stupid needs of themselves before anybody else, just thinking they're bigger than the club, and nobody's bigger than this club. So yeah, an interesting one to see. Definitely, you're right. I don't think we'll see them the rest of the season. I think this is one that's probably going to be dealt with more in the summer, and they'll be kind of reassessed, if you like, in the summer, and the decisions will be made from there. But yeah, well, it's at least they come out and apologised. I suppose that's all we can ask for, but it's what we were expecting. So I will go now. So it's just, I'll round up just a few things, really. So obviously, there's been quite a lot happening over the past couple of days. Rangers have lost a massive part of the infrastructure that's been built this season. And sadly, I have to announce that Neil McCann has left as the RTV pundit, and he's went to Inverness, Cardoni and Thistle as manager to the end of the season, I think, is it?
Yeah, it's an intern till John Robertson feels that he wants to come back, I think.
Yeah.
He's had a bereavement in his family, so yeah.
Yeah, it's fair enough. So good luck to Neil McCann, who will be sadly missed on RTV for sure. And it's a shame to see him go, but good luck to him. Hopefully see him back soon. If not, hopefully he gets a permanent job out it.
I know a replacement for Neil McCann who could come in the RTV studio.
Scott Gemmell.
Scotia, because he's a centre half at heart.
He's a centre half at heart. Yeah,
he could come in and be he could give the opinion on the defensive side of Rangers and opposition.
Yeah.
So I think we've got it with the man there.
As well, and he scored a lot. He scored a lot of dodgy goals on FIFA 98 and 97, mate, as well. So yeah, you could be right, mate.
He won't want that Powerade drink that they give to him to drink. So he's got a pint of Terence Hill to have it.
Just as well, my internet kind of skipped there and missed all what you were saying.
Oh, you'll be able to catch up with it later, mate. Don't you worry. But yeah, no, good luck to Neil McCann. He will be missed, and he's arguably the best pundit in Scotland, and probably all three of our opinions. I love listening to him talk about football. So it's a shame, but good luck to him. And obviously, I can't. It'd be remiss of me not to mention that Neil Lennon has lost his job or has left his job or whatever you would like to say. So it'll be a big miss for Rangers. And as you messaged earlier, Ali, on the 55th day of the year, could not write it. So thank you, Neil. We enjoyed this season. See you later. And just the kind of last bit of Rangers related news, if you like, in inverted commas, is about our new show that we'll be launching this week, The Lounge. So it'll be a kind of laid back chat with guests. I can announce that it'll be Chris from Rangers on Tour and Colin from the Gallant Few podcast that will be joining us. So make sure you subscribe to us, follow us, so you can see when that's going to drop. It will be dropping this week at some point, so please check that out. So that'll do us for the news, gentlemen, and we'll jump on to preview our next game. So Rangers welcome Antwerp to Ibrox on Thursday night for the second leg of the round of 32 tie in Europa League, with Rangers in quite a good position to progress through, leading 4-3 on aggregate. So this morning, so Wednesday morning, if you like, was the press conference ahead of the game, and it was Stephen Gerrard and Joe Aribo that attended. The kind of main points from the press conference was Tav and Rufa still about 3 weeks away. Nothing's really changed in that regard. Ryan Jack's injury is not as bad as he first thought. He's got a small muscle bleed, but not any muscle damage. But it'll be a couple of weeks for him, but it won't be long term. And on the game tomorrow night, he said the key to this second leg is how we play out of possession. What we have to be tough and difficult to play against. And in the opening stages, we will see if they have a high press or are prepared to sit in. We have to adapt on the job and be ready for what happens on the night. For me, the focus has to be on us and the problems we can cause at home to make our supporters proud. And just quickly, Joe Aribo on tomorrow night's game says, the occasion is great. We get a buzz playing in Europe. So obviously, the full interviews are on the Rangers official YouTube channel, so you can go check them out there. Just jumping on to Antwerp, so just before we came on, I just quickly checked how they got on at the weekend there. They looked to have a very boring, uneventful, nothing each draw with, I'm not even going to try and say their name, but it's STVV. I'm not even going to attempt their name, but it was a nothing each draw, so definitely on paper it didn't look very eventful. Not in the scoring form that they showed against us anyway. But Rangers are entering the game, obviously scoring 8 goals in 2 games. So, Ali, what's your thoughts and what do you expect from tomorrow night?
Oh, I hope it's not the same as last Thursday. How can he cope with that? I don't know. I mean, I heard their manager come out after the game last week saying they should have scored 6 or 7 goals. Apparently,
they should have turned us over or something like that. Yeah,
which I quite enjoy because that's Gerrard's team talk right away when he goes in there tomorrow night. So no, I like when they say these things because if that's the fact, they could have scored 6 or 7. We could have scored about 6 or 8 goals, whatever. So yeah, I thought they were an all right team. Antwerp, like I said, we've played a hell of a lot better teams in Europe this season and last season. I don't think they're that great. They're there to be got at. I think they'll come and have a go at us. I think they'll be very similar to the way they were the first leg, quite open. We don't need to be as open as we were. To me, I think we kind of not sit in, but I think we counter-attack them. That's what I would do. But yeah, I expect them to come at us. I think Scotia says the guy up front, the guy who wants to go to Anderlecht, he's up front for them. He's available, I think, so he'll be back. But yeah, I expect Rangers to go through. I mean, they need to score 2 goals, this mob. I can't see them winning 2-0. I can't see us not scoring, basically. So, yeah, I would take a boring 1-0 win, like I said earlier on, or even a boring 0-0, to be honest, if they wanted to do another 0-0 like they did the weekend, that mob. So, yeah, as long as we get through it, I expect Rangers to go through, but nothing would surprise me in Europe, especially after last week's game.
No, I know. Don't say that, mate. I can't take another 4-3 game tomorrow night. My heart won't be able to take it. I don't think. They are going to have to come and have a go. They're going to need to try their hardest. They have to beat us, and they have to beat us convincingly. A chance of going through here. So, yeah, I'm expecting quite an open game. To be honest, I think at first Rangers probably will just assess the situation, as Gerrard's saying, see what they're planning to do. Hopefully not let them give us their best shot, but as you say, maybe look to catch on the counter. So, Scotia, what's your thoughts ahead of the Antwerp game?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting that when Gerrard came out and he said, we're going to go out and play our own game. We're going to play to win. We'll assess it as the game goes on and we'll develop as the game goes on. And so what I got from that is that we'll maybe set out a certain way, and if it's not working, we'll fall into a different formation, or vice versa. We'll maybe set out a wee bit more defensively, and if we're finding a wee bit of joy, we'll maybe go for it a wee bit more. But it's all on Antwerp, really. They need those 2 goals to go through. Yeah, Lam Colzé will be back. I think he's their best player. I mean, that game against Standard Liège I watched them against, he was their brightest spark. He played at the weekend. Their other sort of main striker in Buchanan, he came off the bench at the weekend as well. So it wouldn't surprise me if both of them start tomorrow, because I think they do need to go for it. Whether or not they'll go for it straight away or kind of bide their time, I'm not sure. But they definitely, obviously, they need those 2 goals, so they'll definitely go for it. So them 2 are back. I noticed the keeper that went off against us, the Calamity boy. He went off at the weekend again with injury, and that other Desvault, I think his name is, came on. But I think their main keeper should still be okay, so he'll probably be back in. But it was quite interesting that that's 2 games in a row he's went off injured. Yeah, it was 0-0. They drew with a team that I think are sitting down about 15th, 16th. They're at the very bottom, or not very bottom, but very close to the bottom of the Belgian Pro League. And that 0-0 sort of seems to be their kind of typical low-scoring type game. That's like looking through their last few results as a part. They've not been very high scoring. They've not conceded many, but they've not scored many themselves either. I think last Thursday was just a freak event. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But I think, yeah, it's on Kenny Antwerp's shoulders to bring the game to us for it.
Very much so, mate. As I say, I think the team they drew with, I think they were 10th or something, or 11th, and they or the 15th, were they even more than that? Yeah. So they were the stats as well from the game is that SV, whatever they were called, they were like 9 shots on goal, none of them on target, and like I think Antwerp had 9 shots on goal when only 2 were on target, so it was like a 50-50 possession as well. So it seems like a pretty nothing game, to be honest. So I don't think they obviously, as I say, they are going to need to come here to try and kind of save into their season, because they're not going to win the league. So that they're going to need to try their best to kind of keep and kind of going in their season. So I think it'll be an interesting game in terms of how they approach it. I mean, if they go gung-ho at us, I think Rangers will pick them off. I really do. I think we could probably comfortably win that game if we manage to keep a clean sheet while they attack and keep the ball out our net. Then I think we could probably pick them off. So it'll be interesting to see what they plan to do. Scott, do you want to go?
Yeah, what I was going to say is they've got a game on Monday night that I think if they win that, similar to us, they secure themselves Champions League football, or at least the qualifiers for it. Obviously, we secured that at the weekend there, although it was never in doubt. But I think they've got a game on Monday night as well that they can ensure them the qualification into the Champions League next season. That's boy Sek. He's obviously out in defence because he got sent off. I think he's their main one from last week that's missing through suspension.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. As I say, I hope it's one of the games I wish I was going to, because even though we are in quite a commanding position, the place would be absolutely rocking for it, because as soon as Rangers score, I think if we get the first goal, then it pretty much ties up the game, and Rangers, I'm pretty sure, will game manage it out. So yeah, looking forward to it. Remember, it's a 5 to 6 kickoff tomorrow night on BT Sports, or obviously if you're going to do it via the what's it called, the virtual match ticket, Scotia, is that what it was called?
Yeah, I think it's the virtual match ticket it's called, yeah.
Virtual match ticket, so
starts at 5:30, I think.
Starts at 5:30, yeah, so it'll be a 5 to 6 kick-off, BT Sport. Just remember that's not 8 o'clock. So we will go with starting 11s, gentlemen. So I'm not really sure if there'll be. I think the team's quite predictable, if I'm going to be honest. I think I'll be shocked if we don't pick the same team. I really would. I think there's maybe one or two that we could maybe be kind of mixed on. So, Scott, do you want to go first, mate?
Yeah, I'll just run through my team. I've got some stuff to add, so I'll let you do your team and then I'll add it afterwards, if that's okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. I'm going for Shagger, Balogun, Goldson, Helander, Barisic, Kamara, Davis, Arfield, Kent, Morelos, Aribo. I think.
Ali?
That's my team as well.
That's my team as well. Right, Scotia, back to you, mate.
All be the same, yeah.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to raise and watch out for, and this kind of plays into something Ali said at the start, that he doesn't think we'll see any of the COVID breach players. Balogun's sitting on a yellow card, or 2 yellow cards. If he gets booked tomorrow night and we go through, he'll miss the first leg of the last 16. Jack probably won't be back in time for that. So you're potentially scratching your head for a right back at that point. Something to watch out. Arfield at right back, you think?
He's mentioned Arfield, and I says to Carney as well, he mentioned Kamara.
No, Jack. No, I know. I mean, I get what you're saying about the right back situation. I mean, is Simpson in the Europa League?
Yeah, but
team squad?
He's left-sided though.
Oh, so he is, aye. Well, that's a tricky one, that.
But when
when's
the next round of the Europa League though? Because Tav's out for 3 weeks.
11th of March. I think it'll come just a week too soon for Tav. Okay. Probably Jack as well. And it's one of those ones, if I expect us to get through, depends who we ultimately get in the team. But yeah, I thought that was something to just keep an eye on, that Balogun's sitting a yellow card away from.
Is he the only one in a booking?
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 other players. I'm not counting Tav, Bassi or Zungu, but there's 7 other players sitting in one booking. So they would need to get booked twice, sort of in the next 2 games, to miss the second leg of the last 16. And then it gets scrapped for the quarterfinals. Yeah. So it's really just Balogun that's the concern, I would say. And particularly because he's playing right back. He's looked good when he's come in, but you're never sure that because it's not his natural position, that he might make a clumsy challenge further up the pitch that can get that booking.
He's a stick on to get booked now, since you said
that. He's a stick on to get booked. Yeah, like absolutely stick on to get booked now. And now he's got me thinking, right? So, well, and say he does get booked, then Patterson's clear to play in the Europa League, isn't he?
Aye.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind then that he would play him. I think the cause would come first before it, and I think Patterson would be a very, very lucky boy. So Balogun's probably going to get booked now as well, so Patterson might have to play. That's an interesting one, that though. What, Ali, would you be raging if Patterson gets played, if Balogun gets suspended?
I wouldn't be raging. I want us to go through, but I don't think he deserves to be in it. But
the cause, though. For the cause?
Well, he's already said Scott Arfield, Glenn Kamara can slot in there. I know it makes the midfield light. I don't know.
Glenn Kamara cannot play right back. I'm sorry. That can't happen.
You never know. Remember when Joe Aribo played? Was it left back or something? I thought he was really good at left back. But you never know.
I think there's scope for Arfield maybe to cover there. There's also scope for a change in formation, by the way, as well. Yeah. Like he could change the formation for a game. Be interesting to see that. But yeah, that's one to definitely keep an eye on, I would think. Right, so score predictions. Ali, do you want to go first?
Yep. I'm going positive. I think they'll come at us. I think it'll leave. They were so open against us. I think there'll be a lot of gaps to get in at them. I'm going to go 3-1. I think they will score, but 3-1 to Rangers. Scotia, you're laughing there. You've probably got the same scoreline.
Yeah, no, same scoreline for exactly the same reasons. I think they're going to have to come at us and we can maybe exploit them. And in the breakaway, yeah, I'm going for 3-1.
3-1. Oh, I've wrote down 2-1, but I'm thinking it might be 2-0 now, just after we've kind of spoke about it. Initially, I thought 2-1. Yeah, I'll go with 2-0. I'll go with 2-0. I don't think they'll score. I think Rangers they'll be too good for us. I think if Rangers get the first goal, I think it's pretty much going to take the wind out of their sails. I don't see them being too up for it if we get another goal. So yeah, really looking forward to it though. My goal scorers, I'm going to say Buff and Aribo.
I'll go Kent. Kent first goal scorer.
Scott?
I reckon Morelos will score a couple, and don't care who else. On other good news as well, we've not got any Bulgarian referees for tomorrow night. The boys Polish.
Thank
so
God. Thank God.
that.
Has he definitely refereed a football match before?
I had actually had a wee look at him. I think he's been refereeing since 2010. Got his FIFA license to referee in European games 2013, I think. So
He would
should be
have
all
to
right.
be. He would have to go some to beat that referee last Thursday. Let's be honest. He would have to proper go some to be worse than that guy. That guy was absolutely shocking, man. But yeah, fingers crossed for an uneventful game and a routine win for Rangers. So that'll do us for a show. So just a few things to wrap up with. We're still trying to raise £555 for MND Scotland. By making a £1 donation via our Facebook page, you'll be entered into a raffle and have a chance of winning a fantastic framed printed artwork of Fernando Rickson and a copy of the book Fernando Rickson, The Final Battle. Head over to our Facebook page. At the pin post at the top, it will tell you everything that you need to do to enter. There's only next Saturday, so a weekend Saturdays when it will be closing, so not long to get yourself in with a chance of winning this. It's just £1 to enter. If you can donate more, magic, that'd be great, but it is only £1 to donate and to be entered into the raffle. So thank you to everyone so far for donating, and thank you if you're going to donate in advance. So, gentlemen, that will do us for today. We'll obviously be back tomorrow night for a match reaction after the Antwerp game. So, Ali, again, thanks very much for your time today, mate.
No problem. Looking forward to tomorrow.
And Scotia, thank you, mate.
Yeah, thanks. Back to work so that I can sneak away early tomorrow to catch the game.
As if you're going far, is it?
Priorities, mate.
Priorities. To worry, aye.
Priorities. And as always, thank you to all for listening. As again, just like, subscribe, follow, and share anywhere that you can. It really does support us. It really does help us get out there to as many like-minded Rangers folks. So keep your eyes peeled as well for and your notifications turned on for our new show, The Lounge, dropping towards the end of this week. As I said, we will be back tomorrow night with an immediate match reaction pod after the Antwerp game. So we are Club at 22 The Rangers podcast. Cheers.